Hi, Rosebuds, gather around. You see the title of today's video. We are about to cook. Now, who do you think we're cooking? Kevin Samuels or Kendra G? You tell me. I have two videos lined up for you all today. One is by Tamron Hall and the other one is from Kevin Samuels, okay? We very recently had Valentine's Day. I hope that you all enjoyed yourselves. Either you all felt the love or gave the love, either way it goes. I love you all very much. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. So the first video that we are going to review, I would like to say that I am using this video from Tamron Hall's show as my understanding is it falls under fair use. I'm using this video for educational and entertainment purposes, and I am going to prove that Kevin Samuels was right in his conversation with Kendra G by her example a few years after her conversation with Kevin on Tamron Hall's show very recently. I believe it aired on Friday on Valentine's Day. Either it was a live show or it was pre-recorded. Either way it goes, it happened 3 years after Kevin Samuels had the discussion we will review after Tamron Hall's video, and it proves that not only was he right, but Kendra G is steady wrong. And I just want to say that, in my opinion, Kendra G is not the relationship messenger. She's unqualified because she's not relationship material. Much like Melissa Ford, Kendra G comes off very selfish, self-centered, egotistical, just in how she talks to the people that come on her show looking for love, and how she talks to Tamron Hall and Kevin Samuels in the videos that we are about to watch. She seems to always escape accountability, and she seems to constantly put her needs before the needs of others, in my opinion, just in covering her weekend after weekend on the Cart Before the Horse channel. I will leave a link to those videos in the description box. I think that you all will find them very entertaining. But like I said, in most of the times when she's discussing people, when people are coming on her shows and she's discussing relationship, she just comes from a very egotistical point of view. And I think that is the reason why she can't attract the male that she says that she wants, okay? So I am going to bring up a video. This video, like I said, is from Tamron Hall. The video is called Dating Trends with Kendra G and Lana Dunn. There we go. We have it here. The lady that you see on the screen.
And join the love train. She's now hugely popular.
The lady that you all see on the screen looking very cute and demure is Tamron Hall. She is a married journalist, an Emmy Award winner. She's got a daily talk show that we witnessed here on screen that consists of news-making interviews like the one she did with Kendra G. It's making its rounds on YouTube right now, and I'm also covering it. Ranging from deeply personal conversations to purely fun videos like the one we are going to review right now with Kendra G. So without further ado, let's get started.
Popular YouTube matchmaking show. It's called KendraGSingles. Also with us is Alana Dunn. She found her calling when she started posting her own dating experiences While working for a popular dating app, she now has a hit podcast called Seeing Other.
So, do you all see
People
here in this area about the finger? In my observation, this other dating coach that is going to be on Tamron Hall's show with Kendra G is married. Let's listen to Tamron's description again.
where she helps singles in the digital age date better and feel less alone. Alana has taken her own advice to heart, leading her to meet the love of her.
Tamron says that Alana has taken her own advice to heart.
Her life, Jake, who married, I feel like I'm telling everyone's business. They got married in June. So these two guests that are coming up, they are on the front line. They are like your defense when you are about to run on the field and hopefully score, love, Kendra.
Hopefully score, love. It seems that maybe Tamron Hall has witnessed some of Kendra G's content and has determined that most of the contestants on her show aren't really looking for love, they're looking for a sugar daddy. But she dare not say that because this is daytime TV and that is not appropriate, in my opinion.
Kendra G, Alana, come on out! Oh my God! Oh, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
I'm such a girly girl. I love their dresses. They're so cute. Very on par with Valentine's Day. I love it.
I'm Italian. I can tell already by my audience, because I'm one of the most vocal audiences in TV. They don't know how to feel about this. I never knew, ladies, it was so complicated.
Woo, it's tough out there. Dating is a war. You had it right. It's a battlefield out there.
It is.
Yes.
What makes it, Kendra, a battlefield?
I think now because of social media, it's the gift and the curse because now we're all connected. But that fine man you had to worry about just in New York, no, he worldwide now. He got girls in Italy, Mexico, California. So
I wonder if she's referencing her past relationship with the African guy that her and TashaK are now kind of at odds about, because TashaK was trying to give Kendra G some advice, which I felt was appropriate being that she's a media personality. TashaK's advice to Kendra G was to keep her relationship off of the internet, which she didn't. And because she didn't, Kendra cousins or the tea sippers or the wine sippers, I'm sorry, TashaK, don't beat me up. The winos, okay, because I am, don't tell anyone, but I'm a wino. The winos told on Kendra G's boyfriend, letting TashaK know that Kendra G's boo thing was a scammer. He has like 25 aliases. So listen to Kendra G's responses to Tamron Hall.
guy that most women want, he has so many options. And every woman wants the same man, child. Really? I don't care if she work at the Piggly Wiggly or she's the corporate lawyer on Wall Street. She want her a rich man, and that's just what it is.
Really?
Yes, girl. Hide your man, Tamra. Hide him. Hide him. Don't let him go outside. Don't let him go outside, child.
Don't let him go. Okay, I'm locking my door.
Look at Tamron Hall. She's like, ooh.
Don't you leave that house. Ilana, why is it a battlefield?
I think for two reasons. First of all, with dating apps, it seems like there are infinite options. So
Yes.
then when we're still single and not finding our person, it's
Right.
like, well, there's so many people out there. Why am I still alone?
Yes.
And then you open social media and you're inundated with seemingly happy couples, all these pictures, all these videos, and it reinforces that idea of, wow, it seems like everyone can find love except for me. There must be something wrong with me.
Okay, despite
Well, there is something wrong if you have unrealistic expectations in the dating market, which we cover weekend to weekend on the Regal Rumble on the Cart Before the Horse channel with Gavin X and Mr. Walker. We see the unrealistic expectations time after time after time after time, whether that's from dating apps or social media or not. The ladies don't seem to be getting any better with their expectations. They seem to be getting worse.
all of that, it's Valentine's Day.
Yes, it is.
I don't want
Love
to sour you.
I hope you all had a great Valentine's Day. If you want to see a funny pre-Valentine's Day show, check out my first live ever. I shot it on Thursday, the day before Valentine's Day, and my good buddies G Honda and Jay Tillman joined me, and we had a pretty laughable discussion, which we discussed what our plans were for Valentine's Day. It's a cute little funny video. You should check it out.
You want love.
Yes.
Because Love is a Battlefield was a song in the 80s. So it hasn't changed, but guess what? People find love. You found love
I
with
did.
your guy, Jake.
Jake.
How long you been together?
We met 4 years ago this week,
Yeah.
and we got married this past June.
You got this past June. I love it.
Look at her face. She's so happy to be married, to have the total package, the career, the man, the love, right? The potential for a budding family. Good for her. And congratulations to you, Lana. Welcome to the Wives Club.
Kendra, thousands and thousands of people call you.
Yes.
They want to be on the show.
Yes.
They want your advice, but you're single.
That's right, girl, and loving it. Now, you know, I was in a relationship last year, but this is my single season, and I love it. And single does not mean lonely. Single means nobody can't claim.
Kendra is 45. She was in a relationship last year. In the video that I'm going to show you later featuring Kevin Samuels, she was 41 and she wasn't in a relationship. So is this the season, or is this common in your life where you're single most of the time? You tell us, Kendra.
Me.
Right.
And I got a roster. If you want to join the team, where the camera at, Tamron? Hit me up on Instagram.
Did you see that nonverbal communication from Tamron Hall when she put those cards in front of her face to hide her shame for Kendra, the person looking for love from high-value men that are going to see this interview? If not them, their friends. So when Kendra G is showing up at Thanksgiving, or she's coming around for a birthday party of her significant other, there will be men in the room that will no doubtedly mention this interview where she talks about her roster, and they will inquire about the number he is currently in on her roster. And for the guys watching the video, when you hear the words coming out of her mouth that she has a roster and she is accepting one more to her roster, in my mind, I think about Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA. How many men are on a basketball roster? How many men are on a football roster? Now, when I'm watching TV from the TV, I can see the sidelines in football. Very recently, we had the Super Bowl. She was there. Kudos to her. O'Shea Duke Jackson has a video of her at the Super Bowl dancing with her wig flying off. But how many people are on a roster? When I think of a roster, I think of like more than 5. So how does this help you land the man that you want to find, that you want to take you seriously? How is that helping you on your quest to find that man? Do you think that man is going to be proud to show up on Thanksgiving dinner to show you to his mother, and then her possibly see this on a daily talk show with Tamron Hall on a rerun, and she sees you talking about a roster? Because this is not just going to air one time. This is going to air on forever. This is Tamron Hall's content. There's no scrubbing this off of your StreamYard or your Facebook, Kendra, or your Instagram. Some man's mother is going to see you talk about a roster in a very vulgar way.
Kendra G Media, we got space for one. We got space
Because
for
I
one.
love that thing too, but just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you're not dating.
No.
And that can be your season where you're exploring yourself and what's on the landscape.
Yes.
Okay, so my team found 2025's most talked about dating trends and catchphrases. These ladies are going to break it down. I gave you some of them at the beginning of the show. So don't feel badly if you've never heard of them, because I'd never heard of them either. And I didn't look them up because I want to know how you define them. Future proofing.
Yes.
Kendra.
Oh, you got to have a job. You have to have an ambition that's going to go somewhere for sure. I want to see W-2 forms. I want to see success records. I want to meet your mama. I want to know where you live. Is it in your name? Is it? I need to see.
Are you checking the nonverbal communication going on between Tamron Hall and the young lady sitting next to Kendra? Are you checking out that nonverbal communication? Because there's a lot being said here without being said. Because Tamron Hall, her mouth is hung wide open, agape. She's gobsmacked at what she hears Kendra G saying. The young lady is laughing with embarrassment, in my opinion, or nervousness, because it's just so outlandish what she's saying.
The least, because sometimes
Kendra, I'm not good enough to date.
Did you hear Tamron Hall? Mrs. Tamron Hall, a married woman, is telling Kendra G, a single woman, that herself isn't good enough to date Kendra. That Kendra G's dating standards are so high that she couldn't even meet them.
If I were, let me tell you, because we're talking about it from the female gaze to the male, I'm just talking in general. If I had gone on a date with someone and they started asking me about my W-2s and my bank account, they would have been seeing the gas come out of the pipes of my car.
Yes.
Because that's too, I'm intimidated now.
Well, because women are tired of wasting their time. I'm talking from the woman's perspective.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't want.
She's talking from the woman's perspective. Now, is she talking from a woman's perspective who just got scammed by the Nigerian boyfriend that she was just recently dating? They're always so proud to boast about their African boyfriends, right? Portia, remember her? Remember who she's getting a divorce from? Simon, right? Another African she was so happy to steal from another woman and parade around the country. Scammer, likely, allegedly, in my opinion.
Want to make you be already made. I don't got clay. I'm not magic.
But guys don't want that either. They don't want to make us.
Well, true, but the thing with guys,
And they don't want a broke lady.
Well, no, I don't know though. Some men.
Guys, I'm speaking. I'm speaking, but I just speaking because I heard you say it.
I don't think men want a broke lady, but they also don't want a lady that's going to be too expensive. You know, wigs is $2,000, lashes is $300.
Okay,
you know, shoes is $1,000.
Are you easing into high maintenance?
Yes. Well, I think that yeah.
Are you easing into high maintenance? Now watch what Tamron Hall says after she says this to Kendra G.
Yeah, that's real high. Real high, real high.
And
But
you're owning, so 2025 people are owning the high maintenance?
while women feel like this is what I do for my
In 2025, people, she was smart to say people because she doesn't want to offend anyone on her daytime talk TV because most of the viewers are women, right? Because all of the men are probably at work working. She says, are you meaning to tell me that people are owning their high maintenance? And that the reason why she's saying that is because I was born in 1981, and even I know that men don't think highly of a woman being high maintenance. They want you to have high standards, but they don't want you to be a high maintenance woman because that signifies that you don't know what to prioritize outside of your maintenance, your hair, your nails, right? A man wants to know that you would go and buy groceries instead of going to buy a wig. A man wants to know that you would prioritize the things that are beneficial for the family. When you say that you are high maintenance, that's a red flag that you might not be able to prioritize what's important. In my opinion, I'm not a man, but if you are a man watching this video, you tell me, would you rather a woman have high maintenance, be high maintenance, or have high standards? Two totally different things.
myself. So a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree with you, Tamron, but they're like, why if you here? If a man is here, why am I?
But you're not here for my wigs.
But they're feeling like this. Okay, I'm showing up for you. I'm giving you my energy. I am in your presence. You should pay for this. Now, I'm not saying I agree with
wait a minute.
Controversial.
This is getting
Most
spicy in
controversial
here.
topic.
but I'm with you, Tamron.
Wait a minute, it is getting spicy in here. Look at the verbal communication. She is not in agreement with this. These are two married women sitting on the show with her, indicating with their nonverbal communication that they have a problem with this message. I'm thinking that they might be considering this to be egregious.
Because I feel like I'm on my
Don't back up now, Kendra. We got some groans, we got some applause, we got some moans. Alana's coming back with us. I didn't know the Valentine's Day was gonna get this hot.
Okay, so we got some moans and we got some groans, and now I'm going to take you all over to Kevin Samuels land. Okay, so we are going to let Kevin Samuels tell Kendra what's wrong with her interview on Tamron Hall's channel. Okay, so this interview with Kevin Samuels happened 3 years ago. At the time, Kendra was 41 years old. Okay, maybe about 4 years ago now, because we're coming up on the summer of his passing, I believe. So maybe about 4 years ago. I don't know, but we're about to cover his channel, his episode with Kendra, where he was interviewing her. She called his show to talk to him, and his responses to Kendra are going to explain to you all why Tamron Hall and Mrs. Lana were absolutely gobsmacked, clutching their pearls at hearing Kendra G's responses. As a wife, the young lady comes off as very egotistical. She doesn't seem to have her priorities straight. Definitely not priorities in line with a husband or a family. Okay? And Kevin Samuels is going to eloquently lay that out. I also want you all to pay attention to how Kendra G looks, okay? How she looks. Is she slimmer? Is she thicker today? You all tell me in the comments. Ladies and gents, what do you observe? Here we go.
I think I have to admit, when you talk about high value men, those that are, I have friends and the men that I've dated, a lot of things you are spot on. They're very big on images. They are big on being catered to. I'm a woman who used to desire those type of men. I don't really desire them that much because I don't want to fulfill what they desire. And one of the things you mentioned it the other night is you got to share that man. A lot of times that man, if he makes 400,000 or more, he may have another woman. And I know I cannot deal with that. So I think a lot of women sometimes say they want these men, but they've never dated it, because if they had, they wouldn't be just focusing on the money. There's a lot of women that have men with money, but they're not always happy either.
Well, okay. So the follow-up question to that would be, if that's the kind of man you would like to have, you just don't like that aspect of it.
Well, I would say this. I'm 41, right? So when I listened to the women, when I was in the...
Did I lie? She said she's 41. Now I believe Kendra is 45. So this would be about 4 years ago. Okay?
30s, when I heard the girls from up here, they remind me of myself, because I was like, he got to have a lot of money. He got to take care of all the bills. That's what I was on. And I run in those circles, but what I've learned is a lot of those men just couldn't be faithful. So then I learned, well, that's my deal breaker. Faithfulness is my deal breaker. So I've been blessed. So
the question I have then is, because I hear what you're saying, but then I also like, that sounds good.
Okay.
Because you 41 years old, married, any kids?
Nope, I froze my eggs though, so I got a safety net just in case.
So you...
Do you see the ego? No, but I froze my eggs though, just in case. Nobody is gonna thaw those eggs out for you, girl. A young lady just turned 21 today. Many young ladies just turned 21 today. All of those ladies are going to get the men that you say you want. The ones that are serious, dating for a purpose, not wrecking their womb by Nug and Ashika Shaquan or whoever. Kendra, this is so embarrassing. You just went on Tamron Hall's show talking about a roster and a $3,000 wig. This is what you're telling the dating pool you need to be in a relationship. What man of value wants that when they don't even want y'all wearing wigs in the first place? And I'm saying y'all because I'm not single. I'm a married woman. I'll be married 18 years, July 21st. I got married in 2007 at the age of 25. I was engaged at 23.
You're accustomed to a certain standard of life.
This is true.
And if a man is making the median of what a black man is making, $42,500, he can't afford your standard of life.
So is that my problem?
Yeah, that's your problem, old lady. You aged out. You aged out of building with a man. You're so old, you want a man to come ready-made for you. What you don't understand is that is something you build and collect along the way. If it was that easy, then everybody would wait until they were 45 years old to find a man that was already carved and molded into the best product he was going to be. Everything that Kevin Samuels is about to tell you in this video, you didn't hear to any of it. You would rather sit on your show night after night and try to be right about you want to be right about your point of view. And what you don't understand is your point of view isn't realistic. There's nothing in life that says that your point of view works. You don't see it over and over and over again. Maybe you're gonna keep talking about your friends, and I know a lady, and I know someone, and I. That's not reality for the world. And for someone who has talked to as many men and women as you have on your platform, because I've reviewed a good part of it, probably about a third of your content through the Cart Before the Horse channel. All of those ladies get on your channel sounding just like you, and none of them get the results. Maybe a couple of them, maybe a few of them. How many? 7? 7 out of the thousands of people that you talk to? You're using anecdotal evidence? Talking to a man that's old enough to be your father?
See, it's the reality of the world. See, what happens far too often, especially in our communities, Black women wait too long to get married. You wait till you're too old. You wait till you have too much experience, and your experience and your income has gone up, and that is inversely proportional to your sexual marketplace value.
So can I speak to that?
So let me finish making the example, because I hear women come.
See, she's not listening. She's hearing him, but she's not listening to his framework of thinking. You know, maybe it's because I have a master's degree and I had to understand different frameworks of how you get to certain outcomes and answers to things. I don't know if Kendra just has a bachelor's degree where all you have to do is find the correct answer. But in a master's program, it's not about finding the correct answer. It's about explaining how you come to an answer altogether. What framework do you use to come up with a likely outcome? Kevin Samuels is trying to give you a framework to think from, and you're just ready to answer and ready to retort everything that he says. Oh, well, can I say something? Can I say something? Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you? Can I say something with my stupidity?
Come on and say, you know what, that high value thing, I really don't want that because I don't want to have to share him. All right, but then are you going to be able to look at a man making $45,000 a year and respect him to the same level that a high value man would be respected?
I would respect a man who's hardworking, and as long as he doesn't try to minimize me in any way. Now that's that.
Did the Nigerian man minimize you when he was taking you out in those stolen vehicles, allegedly? I mean, you've worked for radio stations. I know interns and people in the building. I'm pretty sure men from all walks of life have tried to talk to you. But you don't give them a chance because they're not in Bentleys or Range Rovers, whether they bought them honestly or got them through fraud. So you're lying. You don't want to date a man making $42,000 a year. You think that that is beneath you. You do, Kendra. That's how I see it.
That's the biggest thing. If he's okay with me being my full self.
You didn't answer whether or not you respect him to the same level you respect the high value man.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm gonna say yes only because I'm gonna tell you this. I've dated high value men. I've dated the men with the Rolls Royces and all the cars and all the glitz and glamour, and they always thought because they had the cars and the glitz and glamour that you got to bow down to them. And
I get it, but I'm talking about the man who's working at the post.
You also have to bow down to the man that you're in a relationship with that makes $42,000 a year. When you're in a relationship, it's about give and take. And when you're married, the husband is the head of the household. So if he says, Raquel, no Neiman Marcus this month, then guess what? Raquel's not going to Neiman Marcus that month. Because that's just the way the cookie crumbles, because the priority of the family comes first. And that's something my husband is always prioritizing. And sometimes me as a woman that's not paying attention to the budget or girl, math, with my girl math, I just always think that it's there because it's always there, but sometimes it's there for something else. Sometimes the priorities change and I can't go get that new bathing suit, or I can't go get that new headband that costs $400. Mm-hmm.
Post office.
I would say, now I'm gonna tell you my requirements. I want you to be attractive. So if you're a guy that's working at the post office and you're attractive and you
Hold on, let me time out. Why do you want to be attractive?
I can't have nothing.
No, let me explain. See, this is what's so.
I can't have nothing. Doesn't she sound like a petulant child? She's 41 years old, you all. She's 41. And she's talking to a man old enough to be her father, like she's 20 years old.
What's so wrong with so many of our women? You're supposed to be the attractive one, not us. Black women today have atavistic mating standards, very primitive, meaning I want you to look good. So he can make $40,000 a year as long as he look good.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he can make $40,000 a year. I'm not.
That's what most black men make, $42,500.
Okay, so Kevin, so are you saying in your perspective that it's over for me? Then I don't have.
No, it's not. No, what I'm saying is your price is too high.
How is my price too high?
Okay. Well, first of all, you asked me, and I'm going. You're 41 and unmarried.
Right.
You're freezing
By choice.
eggs.
By choice.
Yeah, that's no.
Well, no, I can say that. I was once engaged when I was in college.
Shout out to Gavin X and Mr. Walker over by Single by Choices. Did y'all hear that? Kendra G said that she's single by choice. It's not because she has a roster or a $3,000 wig, y'all. It's not because of that.
No.
I just got.
See, this is what I mean. The engagement queens, you can't make this up.
No, I'm not. Listen, wait,
stop. Don't overtalk me. No. I said if we could start giving black women credit for engagements, you act like that shit matters. I'm not married, but I'm not by choice. Unless you're turning away proposals of men of value and esteem, it doesn't matter. Y'all talk about y'all are unmarried when ain't nobody that you want to marry trying to marry you.
Kevin, can I speak to that?
No, because I haven't got to my point. Because I haven't got to my point. You asked me why is it over for me? That's what you asked.
But I want just to say one thing. Okay.
Let me get to my point, dude. Let me get,
okay.
I didn't even. This is why it's over for a lot of sisters too. Look.
Did you hear that, y'all? he told Kendra, it's over. Kendra, do you remember this? You were really nasty to Kevin after this came out. Remember, you were going around the circuit talking about, I should have asked him if he was married. I should have asked him if he had children. I should have. Disrespectful, petulant child. Disgusting young woman.
You can be right all you want to. Men control access to marriage. And one of the major reasons that older women are getting passed over for younger women is you're too masculine. You're too bossy. You're too opinionated. That works well in the corporate world when you're making other people successful and rich and fine, but it does not work well when you're trying to connect with a man. Why is it over for many?
And that is why Tamron Hall and Lana were clutching their pearls, because they know that that kind of attitude won't work in a thriving relationship. That's what wives know. They're able to read the room and understand the needs of those around them. What does a man need with your $3,000 wig? What does a man need with that?
Women your age. One, because your income has risen. And females have evolved. Evolutionary biology says women want men to have at least what they have. The older you get, the more money you make, the more education you have, the more resources you get, thereby inflating your estimation of yourself. But that estimation is not your sexual marketplace value.
Did you hear that, Kendra? The estimation of yourself, all the wealth that you've built through your app. And I'm proud of you that you are a woman that has a lucrative business. That's very, very, very hard to do. I think it's remarkable, right? Regardless of how ratchet I think it is, right? But I think that you could be a lot more humble about the way you go about it. The way that you talk to the people that come onto your channel can be very, very, very demeaning. You like to throw your money around like a man. You just sat up and said to the entire world on Tamron Hall's show that you have a roster like a man. Like a man. What guys do, we just can't do. We can't do it. You know, I love that, you know, glass, a hand in the glass analogy. You know, if 10 people stuck their hand in your glass of water, would you drink it? That's being a woman. You're the vessel that things penetrate. Things go into you. So saying that you have a roster is counterproductive for finding a man of value that you want, because who wants the glass of water where 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 300 people have stuck their hand in it?
It is going down.
Can I respond? I want to be respectful because it's your
Go
platform.
ahead, but do you understand that example I just gave? The inverse proportional relationship.
I understand, but can I speak now? Because I'm being respectful. This is your platform, so I definitely want to honor your rules. I just got out of a relationship in January, and I could be married right now if that was my goal. But I would rather be happy than just married to say I have a husband. And I don't think that should be looked down upon. I don't think that's my honest truth. You could, feel away, but that's an honest truth. I was in a relationship that he wanted. How long
were you in it?
We were together since last year, 8 months. Okay. And he was ready to be married very soon, very early on. And I don't want to be married just to be married. I'm not going to live with fear and say, oh, okay.
So do you want to be married?
Huh?
You want to be married?
Excuse me?
Do you want to be married?
I want to be happily married. If I get married, it's going to be because.
Do you want to be married?
Oh, did he want to be married? Yes. He
Do
wants
you want to be married?
I would be married to if it makes sense. I'm not gonna be married just to be married. And I don't feel like
Okay,
that.
all right. So
Okay.
again, I've asked you, do you want to be happily married? And are you going to be married? I want to be happily married. Man, I'm going to be honest. I don't care about your happiness. I don't care about your love. Marriage is a practical choice. And you can make all these things you want, ma'am. And yes, you're 41, but you're going to be 50 just like that.
I know, I will.
She's going to be 50 in 4 years, guys. Let me know in the comments, do you think that she'll be available and on the market at 50? Or do you think that she'll be married, happily married at 50, cracking those eggs open out the freezer? Those eggs that she's so proud of. Those eggs that she just mentioned.
So the question becomes, if you want to be married, I mean, let's be real. You're freezing your eggs for a reason. Why?
I did. Because I didn't want the pressure to just go out and get pregnant because of my age and my class. Men have that.
Who's going to carry the baby?
I mean, if I can't carry the baby, then I'll get a surrogate. I mean, it happens.
So again, but in order for all that to happen, you have to have a man that you deem worthy propose to you.
Okay, and that's and
hold on.
Okay.
That man, if he could meet your
Kendra, has it happened yet? Has it happened? Because the Nigerian guy that you were just dating, you put a video out there where y'all were celebrating your birthday. Do you remember? And you wished on your birthday cake when you were blowing out the candles that you would be knocked up by midnight. Knocked up how? How? Because that was last year, right? So you would have been 44 last year. How, Kendra? Was he gonna send his seed to the frozen egg palace? Kevin cooked you, girl. He cooked you then. He cooks you today from the grave. He's cooking you from the grave. He told you. He told you. Tamron Hall's demeanor told you. Her nonverbal communication told you. Those oohs, ahs, and moans from the audience listening to you spout off your toxicity told you.
high standard, he can meet a lot of other women's standard as well. And here's the problem. There are hundreds of you, thousands of you. Why should he pick you over the one that can carry her own babies at 24 or 25 or 26, who are willing to get on his program, who don't have as many expectations as a woman your age?
Well, listen, this is what I would say. If he feels the way that you're feeling, then he's not the man for me, and I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, he feels. I don't see that's almost that passive aggressive sign language.
Can I ask you a question? Do you want me to feel okay? Do you?
That passive aggressive sign language, that whole if he's not the man for you, that's I don't play that Tyler Perry Christian crap. That's not it. I don't do that over here. You can do that over there, but I don't do that over here.
Okay, Kevin, I'm being respectful. I really am. I'm trying
You're
to figure out.
have to be respectful.
Okay, Kevin, I'm being respectful. I really am. I'm being respectful. No, you're not. You're being a passive, aggressive bitch. That's what you're being. That's what you're being. And you better be respectful. You're talking to a man that could be your father. Where do you get off, girl? Where do you get off? Now, you must have been raised by a single mom. I don't think you grew up with your father in the house, because there's no way that you could grow up with a father in the house and think that this is okay to talk to a man old enough to be your father this way. No. No.
The thing, you being respectful is what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You're not doing me a favor.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see that dumb, goofy laugh? That's called unaccountability. And that moment right there, Kendra, you should have apologized. You should have said, I'm sorry. Of course, I wouldn't disrespect you. No humility. Zero humility. Zero appreciation for the platform you're on. You were on Kevin Samuel's show to get clout for yourself so that later on you could go and steal his format. And I don't care what nobody says. You stole his format. I agree with Corey Holcomb. You're a thief. Yeah, you switched it up and you put your little modern day woman spin on it, but you stole this man's whole shtick. While your camera frame keeps getting narrower and narrower to avoid showing us your big back.
I wanted to have a conversation. I'm hoping we can have a conversation. So I guess,
speaking of big backs, look at what she looks like. She's at least 10, 15, 20 pounds lighter than she is today. So on top of you having a roster and a $3,000 wig, how many pounds overweight are you? And this is woman to woman.
am I at the ability to ask you a question? Is that fine?
It's about the topic, sure.
Okay. So what do you want me to accept? Because from your,
I want you to accept your sexual marketplace value.
Okay, so what does that equal to? So what are you saying that I need to accept?
Okay, what a sexual marketplace value of a 41-year-old woman is lower than a 31-year-old woman.
Okay.
Is lower than a 21-year-old woman. Because if a man wants to have multiple children, he cannot have them with you carrying them.
Okay. That's true. And I don't want to have multiple children. So
I said if a man wants to have multiple.
You see, it's the I thing. Married women don't put I first. A marriage-minded woman isn't thinking of herself first. She's thinking of the good of the group. This is probably why you don't really have a lot of friends. I'm assuming you don't have a lot of friends. You have a lot of yes people around you. Because a good friend would tell you that you're being unrealistic. I mean, even I have told an acquaintance of mine, if you get married a second time, I will not be paying for a bridesmaid's dress. I will not be paying for a ticket to a destination wedding. You have lost your mind if you think that we, as your friend group, are going to go through the tedious turmoil of another fucking wedding. You better go get married at the courthouse. I've said that. I've said that to an acquaintance of mine. We are no longer friends. Because she's a two-time divorcee that only thinks of herself all the time. Never her friends, never her ex-husbands, barely her children. An acquaintance, she is. Because all she's worried about is I want. I don't want more than 2 kids. Bitch, it's about what your husband wants. It's about what y'all discuss to do together. You don't get to come into a marriage with what you want to do only and expect that that is going to be the path forward for the relationship for 2 people. My God, the selfishness and the audacity out of your mouth. From Tamron Hall all the way back to Kevin Samuels, you get on my fucking nerves.
Well, children, I don't care. See, you keep going back to what you want. You control access to your body, and for a time frame, women control access to whether or not kids are born. But see, what older women, especially accomplished women, have a hard time accepting is your value has a shelf life. After 35, you're at geriatric pregnancy. If you met a man that you found that you thought was the bee's knees and he wanted 3 children, you can't carry them.
Okay, but Kevin, I would say this, right? Can I just say that?
Is that true?
I agree with you. I'm not.
So he would have. So either he would have to forego having the children in his legacy, or he'd have to go find someone who could.
Or it could be a man that might already have children and doesn't want children.
Not my example. That's not my example. That's a different example.
See, can I just say this?
But Kendra, 4 years later, you haven't found that man. You haven't found that man that just wants one of your frozen eggs out of the freezer. Have you? No, you haven't. Not one man, not even the Nigerian scammer, wanted to take your eggs out of the freezer.
I respect your insight. I really do. That's why I came on your platform.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna allow what you think is gonna be for my life to be my life.
Okay, if you allow what I don't know.
It's not about what his thoughts are about your life. It's observable reality. It doesn't happen your way. You little moron. It doesn't happen that way.
Who you, lady?
Right, is that? Well, my name is Kendra. You said my name earlier.
Lady, Kendra, ma'am. I don't know you.
Okay.
So the thing is, I'm not going to allow you to start getting upset because.
I'm not, Kevin. I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
You came to my platform and asked me.
I
That's
did.
in my opinion. Okay, so to tell me what you're not going to allow me to do, that's not necessary.
I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just ultimately.
But what would you call it? What would you call it? I'm not going to allow what you say to do what?
Because I mean, listen, I hear you, but I don't. There's plenty of women that I know that have had babies in their 40s, that have gotten married in their 40s. It can happen. So
I'm talking black women?
Yes, I'm talking black women.
1 in 4 black women were married. 1 in 4 black women were married.
1 in 4. And she's approaching 50 and has not had one marriage or one child. So it can happen, but it hasn't happened for you yet, has it, Kendra?
In their lifetime. So you telling me about the aged black women who marry after 40 and have babies? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. That is, unfortunately, and here's the thing. If you're waiting till your 40s to marry and have babies, you did something wrong in your 20s and 30s.
Exactly.
I mean, well, I would say this. I focus on my career, which I know you feel could be something wrong. I have no regrets. And
I don't feel like there's anything wrong. I don't feel like there's anything wrong. Let me go ahead and share. Let me tell you, turn you people in the comment section up. I don't care what y'all think. I mean, honestly, I don't judge by what women want. If you want to focus on your career, do that. But see, one thing that women have not been told in this country is there's cost to all of it. You can't have it all. Men can't have it all. There are trade-offs and choices. If you chose to focus on your career, I am all for that. Do it. But it comes at a cost of your prime childbearing years. I don't make human beings the way they are. So this is the choice women have to make.
I wholeheartedly agree. And I was engaged into my college sweetheart. I went to Hampton and I chose to focus on my career instead of becoming a wife. I have no regrets. Okay. And just as I hear what you're saying with statistics, one of my best friends just got married last year. She's pregnant, due any day now, and she's 41, and she's a black woman. So all I'm saying is, yes, you're right. Maybe the statistics aren't there, but in my reality, in my world, I know women that
anecdotal evidence doesn't change the fact.
Huh?
Why? I'm a special snowflake. I'm a special snowflake. That is what she wanted Kevin Samuels to understand from this conversation, that she has a difference of opinion, although she respects his platform, but she's a special snowflake, guys. It's going to happen for her. It's going to happen. Mhm. Hasn't happened, but it's going to happen. And she doesn't have to change herself or do any kind of self-reflection or take any kind of accountability because she's a special snowflake. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, guys. She's the one. She's the only one. She's the only special snowflake, guys.
Anecdotal evidence doesn't change the fact. You know people like you. That does not change the reality.
Well, okay. I'm not taking away from that.
What I'm saying is, ma'am,
I'm just saying that.
Listen to what we're doing in the black community. Take it away from you. Take it away from your friends. We're actually having a conversation about women having babies in their 40s. That's how warped we've become in the black community because we cannot get it together in our prime mating and marrying years. Because so many of our women value these so-called careers. Now, I don't doubt that you have a career, but I gotta let you know how many women I've talked to over the countless years who call their job a career. Most people have a job. Most people have jobs. Most people don't have careers.
When I got married in 2007, I had a job. And I was putting my family first. My husband graduated from school before I did. Then I went to school. Then I started leveling up in my career. But each step of the way, it was after my husband, you know, because he needed to be the breadwinner. And I needed to take care of the home. That was the choice I made. Now, did I get my education later on? Yes, I did. But I put my family first. Now I have a career and I have a family, which I'm very proud of and thankful for, you know? Whole entire time along the way, I've been humble. Still learning. Because I don't know everything. How I thought at 41 is not how I think today at 43. That's what annoys me about Kendra, because in this interview, she's 41 years old thinking like this. And I watch her every weekend at 45 years old speaking like this, still speaking like this. Hasn't learned anything, hasn't taken on any accountability, hasn't done any self-reflection. She's just dying on the hill to be right about her framework, her thought framework. She wants it to be right so bad. She can't do any accountability, any kind of self-reflection, because she's right, guys. She's the special snowflake that's going to prove everybody wrong, and it's going to shut everybody like Kevin Samuels, Gavin X, Mr. Walker. She's going to shut everybody up. No.
And it seems to be, why can Becky, Marisol, Mylene, and Anu all go out and have jobs and careers just like black women have jobs and careers and still be able to spin that plate and find a husband? Why can every other race of women seem to be able to do that, but black women are doing it at a 1 out of 4 ratio, and the next closest women are white women who are married twice as much as you are? And that's married to anybody. You're not marrying anybody.
Can I respond to that? I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I also think that if women are realistic and they are open to dating and maybe not always focusing on the money and maybe to give up some things on their list, it is possible. I know you said yourself, your mother got married at 50. There's people that do still find love in their 40s. And I just think that I don't want women to feel hopeless.
And her 3 sisters died alone.
Huh?
And her 3 sisters on the way to dying alone.
Well, speaking of dying alone, I had a mother who wasn't married when she died, and she didn't die alone. She died.
Do you think black women have been given the accurate message for life?
I will say no.
So her mother passed away and wasn't married. So technically, her mother died alone. Not that she didn't have Kendra G as a loving, doting daughter, not that she didn't have any other family members, but In theory, she died unmarried without a husband. You can put whatever spin on it you want to, Kendra. She wasn't married, so she died alone.
I will say no. I'll give you that, but I will say this too. There's a lot of things I do agree with you on, Kevin, and that's why I came on your platform. But I will say the die alone thing. I don't want to give women. I don't think women should be fear.
Oh, I do. I think fear. I think we need some healthy fear. Because here's the thing: when we do this whole coddling, don't act like it is what it is. No, we need to tell you smoking causes cancer. We don't need to tell you smoking causes bait. We don't. Smoking makes you happy. Because I'm looking at our community. Black men are at the bottom, black women are at the bottom, black boys are at the bottom. You're the only group of women who stand out proudly saying, I don't need a man to make it through life. No other group or race of women is so bold to stand outside and say, put all the pressure of the world on me because I don't need him.
Well, I don't believe that. I believe men are very important. I love the black man. My father.
It is our culture.
Okay, I agree with that. Let me ask you this, Kevin. Do you think a woman, because I hear you talk about settling, I always wondered your answer to this. Should a woman be with a guy who might be cheating on her, not treating her the best? Do you think it's better to have a man than to not have a man at all?
Yeah, see, that's a disingenuous question. See, when you come in setting the table as if is the choice between a negative and a man, I reject that question. Why don't you give it the other way around? You think a woman should have a man who actually she can build with and partner with, such and so forth? Why come in assuming bad faith to begin with?
No, I'm not.
No. Yes, you did. You came in and gave me a negative versus having a man. And that means if he's going to do this, should she choose that? Why don't you give me the other side? Give me the good faith argument.
Okay, well, no, there is a good faith argument, but I just heard you say several times, I think sometimes women...
No, what I'm saying is, why didn't you come through the door giving the good faith argument? Why do I have to ask you for it?
Well, I think naturally, if a man is treating you right, if you find a Russell Wilson, what would be the reason for you to leave?
You mean an NFL MVP quarterback? That's the only thing?
Okay, we'll take the money. Or just a man, period, that celebrates you.
What I'm asking you is, I don't celebrate you.
You're
supposed to celebrate him.
But what I'm asking you, Kevin, is this, and I'm not trying to be combative. I'm just simply asking you a question, and I'm really trying not to be combative here. Is there some women...
You should have to try.
There's some women who date men who might not be treating them the best. And I always just wonder, because I know you preach a lot about settling and being with men. And
I talk a lot about settling because that's what a lot of women talk.
You preach a lot about settling. No, he doesn't. No, he didn't. He preached a lot about women being realistic with their sexual marketplace value. You're such a goofball. Like,
talk about all the time when it really ain't settling. See, what I'm saying is I asked you the question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
One of the two things wrong in our community is, one, so many of our women come into interaction with black men in bad faith.
Yes.
You assume the worst, the negative. Man.
And every night when I'm watching the Kendra videos from either Single by Choices or Cart Before the Horse channel, every night when women give their deal breakers or what they want out of their partner, they always speak on the doom and gloom. Just like what she's doing now. She's perpetuating more of the same. Kendra cousins are more Kendras. They're Kendra's, Kendra, you're not a special snowflake. You have a whole army of women that are thinking and feeling just like you. And when they get on your show and what they're asking for doesn't fit their sexual marketplace value, you have started going in on them. You have started telling women that are 3 for 4, 4 for 5 kids with 4 baby daddies. You are even telling them now that their expectations are a little lofty for the fact that they're bringing kids from another man that a potential mate would have to take care of. So you get the concept. You understand. Now at least you do. But for whatever reason, I guess because you have a Bentley and $3,000 wigs and you date scammers, For whatever reason, you look down on these Kendra cousins like you aren't the mold they're shaping themselves from.
Ma'am, go rewind this part. You gave me an example. Do you think a woman should settle for a man that's cheating on her, abusing her, such and so forth, in order to just have a man? That is a disingenuous French toast ass position when you could have easily come in and gave me the positive, good faith. Do you think it would be better for a woman to be with a man who she can actually live with and cooperate with and build a life with, or have nothing? You could have made that choice to come in the door, good faith or bad faith. You chose to come, no. You chose to come in bad faith because that is the default position in our community.
Well, no, Kevin, I just, well, let me apologize if it came across that way, because
No apologies necessary. That just Kevin, shows you where we are in the community.
Right, but what I'm saying is there are times, though, obviously there's men out there that treat their women good. I know several men who celebrate their wives and they're good men. So I wasn't asking that question because I thought that's a no-brainer. If you're with a man that is treating you good and you can build with, of course you be with him. But there are times when women are dealing with men who are bringing them more sorrow than happiness. And I was just wondering if you think being a single woman in that predicament would be better off than being with the man who might be bringing you drama. That's all. I was simply just trying to ask that question. There's three types of men. There's a man that treats you good.
All right, no. See, this is what we do too often. We do this too often, acting as though women don't have accountability and consequences, and the men they cheat. No, man. Okay, I'll let you go on for 30 seconds, and you say a man should be celebrated. I don't know why black women come in and talk about men should be celebrated. You're supposed to celebrate the man. He's not supposed to celebrate you. What other race of women runs around talking about them? You need to celebrate them. What are we celebrating?
Well,
who's on top? Who leads?
Well, Kevin, okay.
Who's on top? Who leads?
I do say that, yes, the man leads, but I have to just speak for the men that I know that are happily married. They celebrate their wives. They do.
All right. Okay.
But Kevin, listen.
You can sell, okay, man, but who, okay. This notion is toxic to come in, it's toxic to like, yes, it is. Because it keeps women with this overinflated stuff that they need to be celebrated to where
You're toxic, Kendra. You're toxic. This man is speaking from his grave. He was right about you. You're toxic. And night after night, you do your single by choices. I'm sorry. You do your KendraGSingles. And you sound jaded. You sound toxic. That's why I don't like you. Or not like you because I don't know you personally, but that's why I don't watch your channel. That's why I'm not a subscriber to you. I grew up in a home with a father and a brother. I love my dad. My mom worshiped my dad. Did my mom have a say-so in the marriage? Of course she did. But when my dad said it's time to get up and move to another country, to another state, guess who was going out to get the boxes to pack up all of his shit? My mom was. My dad dragged us back and forth from America to Europe, back and forth with his career. And each time, my mom gladly packed up and brought her stuff with him. Because he was the leader and she was a follower. And it's not a bad thing to be a follower. In order to be a good leader, you have to be able to follow someone.
Women, yesterday I had a woman on Instagram thinking that being a traditional housewife was tantamount to slavery just because she had to actually cook a damn meal.
I saw that.
So that's a woman that shares your reflection.
How?
She's black.
Oh, so it's my reflection. Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yes. So my notion, the notion, the way so many women talk as though you're some sort of god or deity that's supposed to be celebrated. The way we do it over here, is men of value lead. Women of value follow them. You celebrate your man. You praise your man. What y'all do on your side is good for you. Hope it works for you. But more people on this side are winning. More people on that side got opinions and no husbands, especially no husbands they value. So you talk about Russell Wilson. I don't know many men on this side that respect Russell Wilson, not because he married a woman with a child, it's because he's a simp.
Why is he a simp? Why is
There it is, folks. There it is. Plain and simple. Kendra G is not the relationship messenger. You embarrassed yourself on Tamron Hall saying that you had a roster. I'm pretty sure that's going to damage your sexual marketplace value to that pool of men you'd like to date. I'm pretty sure of it. No one's grandmother, no one's mother is going to be proud or elated that their daughter-in-law was up on a daily syndicated talk show talking about how she has a roster. I would be turned off by that. I have a son, he's 14. He tells me he's getting married. I go do my sleuthing on the young lady because I got to know if she's a good one or a bad one. And then I come across a video like that where you talk about a roster and a $3,000 wig. I'm not giving my son my blessing to marry you. You guys will be getting married under hostile conditions because his mama will not be approving of that marriage. And I can guarantee you that my husband would feel the same way. That's my opinion, guys. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I'm going to drop all of the links to all of the videos that we covered, even the ones I suggested, into the description box. I hope that you all will come back to watch another video soon, or catch one of the videos that's suggested at the end of this video. So drop some comments and a rosebud if you made it to this point. I love you all, and I will see you all soon. Bye, Rosebud.